slightly despondently Sharpe. I know you're smiling now, but how much did that defeat hurt you today?
It's just frustrating. We said before the game the two midfield might struggle with the three against Newcastle, and they did. He then changed it and brought Mainu on, and it sort of changed the game a little bit. They got a little bit of a foothold in the game. Still huffed and puffed. I don't know whether they really created that many chances now. Had him go out at the post second half. But just poor. They just don't look like they're creating a lot. Højlund up top just seems like he's trying to fight with people all the time and never really gets a hold of the ball.
Do you question the manager's selection at the start of the game? Xerxes hooked after, what, 33 minutes? And I know Mainu didn't have the best of games last time out, but he transformed the game for Manchester United. Yeah,
we were questioning it because I think the three athletes that Newcastle have in midfield, you cannot go in and try and play two against them. I know he's probably asking Xerxes or Ahmad to drop in and play as a third midfielder, but it's not their natural position. They're going to have to think outside the box to get back in there. If he just plays Mainu in there, I think it makes a different game of it to start with. And then, you know, when you get off to the start they did and lose 2 early goals, it's just an uphill mountain to climb. And when you're low in confidence and things are not going great, and Newcastle are all over the Man United players like a rash. They were sharp, they were quick, they were organised. It just made the game really tough.
When you have that dynamism in the middle of the park from Newcastle, why do you go with Casemiro and Eriksen, 2 players in their 30s who've never been known for being the most athletic of players? Just wondering, I'm just questioning the manager's decision-making here.
Yeah, I don't know what his thinking is. When you've got 3 athletes like that in midfield and you start with Eriksen and Casemiro.
I know there were suspensions, Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes. I understand that part, yes.
Yeah, who lack legs. I know they've got experience, and you can maybe say, well, we're expecting Newcastle to have a lot of the ball, and we can just have them sit in front of the back 3. But they can't get around the pitch to compete, and that's why I was really surprised that Mainu didn't play. I know, you know, he didn't have his best game against Wolves and give the ball away a lot, but that's generally not his game, to give the ball away. So you would think, you know, he's not been playing regular. Maybe put him back in to find his legs and to get into a bit of a rhythm. So no, and I feel for Xerxes to come off after half an hour. That's a little bit embarrassing. I know he wasn't having a good game, but no, just all round, just average, just bang average. I mean, I know they did have a bit of a go second half, but huffed and puffed and never really caused too much trouble for Newcastle. I don't know whether the keeper had much to do.
Based on the first half performance, there's a quote that's going viral right now from Gary Neville saying, and again, this is from the first half, pound for pound, they are the worst team in England. Pound for pound.
Yeah, Gary, he's very emotional. It's his club, and he loves the club and whatever. They were poor first half, make no mistake. As good as Newcastle were, they were poor. But it comes from the numerical advantage that Newcastle had in the middle of the park. And you know, listen, Amara must have seen the game against Aston Villa where, you know, Newcastle had the 3 in the middle of the park. You were never going to get away with that with Eriksen and Casemiro, the 2 in there, even asking Xerxes to drop back in there. You're never going to get away with that. And, you know, Newcastle, you have to give them their dues. They were brilliant. They're closing down, you know, from the front. Gordon, Isaac, you know, everybody, Murphy, they were just excellent. They kept the ball well. I think it was a well-deserved 3 points. I thought Mainu was very good for Manchester United second half. And then I'm looking around at the Manchester United players and I'm thinking, who else? Who else? Who else? I can't think of anybody else who were on that night. You tell me, who else? Mainu did all right, you know. Well, I think Mainu did well, but who else for Manchester United did well? And that is a problem for them.
Yeah. Well, I think number one, we have to say that Newcastle were very, very good again. You know, let's forget the fact that they were playing against a Manchester United side that are poor at the moment. Newcastle were absolutely excellent. After 20 minutes, it was all over. They were 2-0 up. And with Newcastle's defensive record in the last 4 or 5 games, they don't concede goals. They have lots of pace in their side that if they get the opportunity to break away, they can do that and add to that tally. No, I thought the midfield three for Newcastle, and when you look at them, you know, Joe Linton, who's a great athlete and big and strong and powerful, but he can play as well. Tonali for me is exceptional.
Yes.
Absolutely exceptional. Does everything simple and early and easy, and Guimaraes really creative, but he'll compete. And it was interesting how those three kind of moved around the park as a three. You know, it wasn't that they were close together in the middle of the park. There was times when the three of them were playing a little keep ball situation, wider on the right, further forward, or deeper on the left. You know, because they're such good players, the three of them, and work so well together, they attract the ball, they attract each other, and when they pull Manchester United players closer to them, they just played through them. It was an exceptional performance.